All right, so as it turns out, this is going to be part two. Apologies, I tried to blank the screen, and apparently when you blank the screen on the phone to save battery, of course, yeah, it shuts the camera off. So anyhow, long story short, the runs are wet, the rest is dry. So I won't be sanding this out today. I don't know if you can see, those actually flowed out. I doubt if you would even see them. Some of those you might. And then this one down here is really, really bad. And it's still wet. You can see my fingerprint right there. But the rest of this is dry. There's another bad run there, and one down here in the corner. So tomorrow, this will be dry tomorrow. I mean, fully dry, so I can scuff it. I may just go over it with a Scotch-Brite. Yeah. So anyhow, that's where we are. This side looks good, which really doesn't matter because when the gate's closed, you don't see any of this. Well, when the trim panel's on and everything's installed and the gate's closed, you don't see it anyhow. So, but it looks good. Sorry, I almost dropped my new phone. So I was explaining in my first attempt about why I'm using the hardener in the base coat or in the primer, and then again in the color. Look like chocolate. Anyhow. The reason for that is, well, it's several, but primarily is it gives it a better finish. In the color coat, it gives it more of a gloss, shine finish. If you don't, I can show you with Rust-Oleum what a this was a paint job. These are the tractor parts I painted, the fenders and the hood and some trim panels. And as you can see, there's, I don't know how well you'll see this in the camera or in the video, but you can see it's more like a satin finish than a flat. It's not quite flat, it's not quite gloss. It's more like a satin finish, which for this doesn't matter. This was a donated tractor. They spent close to $1,500 on it to get it running. Again, they had to send the injector pump out and the 3 injectors. It's a 3-cylinder diesel. So these all turned out. I painted these on Wednesday night. So they're all dry. Now I did a major faux pas on this too. I was going for a gloss finish with this. And I used a product that's called, and it's going to get dark here for a second, it's called Flood. And they make 2 versions of it. They make it for an oil-based enamel product, and they also make it for latex, interior latex. And basically what it is you add a little bit of this to your paint. Here, Flood. You add a little bit of this to your paint, and it lets the paint flow, so when you're brushing it on, the brush strokes basically melt away. So it allows you to give a smoother finish on a brushed paint job. The mistake I made is I put a little bit of that in that blue when I was mixing it up for the tractor in the first 2 coats, like the mist coat and then the second coat, which was the coverage coat. And when I was done spraying the second coat, it looked good, and then the tops of the fenders, which are heavily pitted, I'll try and show you. Can't really. I don't know if you can see this in the video, but they're really heavily pitted. The paint, after sitting there for a few minutes, just started to like slough right off. And you can see the primer through it, the white primer, because it's basically the same process I'm using on the Bumble Jeep. Is I'm priming them white and then painting the color over them. So you get good coverage that way. When I noticed what was happening, I thinned the paint a little bit more, cranked the flow down even more, and then I pulled the gun way back and just like misted the blue paint over the areas where the color was kind of like just sheeting off almost. It wasn't, that was the end effect, but it wasn't quite doing that. I mean, I didn't have any runs or drips, but you could see that the paint was kind of like almost sliding off the surface, and the white was coming through. The white primer was showing through, and there's still a little bit of it. I don't know how well you'll be able to see it on this fender, but you can see, and some of it could just be the pitting. But anyhow, the one fender came out better than the other with that technique of just pulling way back, turning the pressure up, and turning the flow down, and just like fogging the paint on the surface. But basically what I was going for was pulling back far enough with the pressure up high enough and the paint flow low enough that the paint was almost dry as it was contacting the surface of the fenders. And it worked. I had limited success with it. They'll pass. Like I said, it was a donated tractor. It's early to mid 80s long 460, which is a 3-cylinder diesel. It's, I don't know, maybe 40, 45 horsepower. But they have use for it. They've been running it the last 2-3 weeks without the body panels on it. So we have one more piece on this thing to paint, and it's a pain in the butt to get off. You got to pull the steering wheel, and it's. I'm going to just mask it and paint it on the tractor, but it's the cover that goes around the tank where the steering wheel goes in and the instrument cluster and all of that. And it's a pain in the butt to get the instrument cluster out of this thing. So I'm going to just mask and paint that right on the tractor. So for today, we're pretty much done. I didn't even pull the Jeep in today. There was a guy that stopped over. He's running our, it's called CORE. It's a missionary training program for young adults and like college-age students. He was here today, wanted to change his oil, so I helped him set it up on the lift and gave him a hand to help him get it done. He did 99% of it himself. All I really did was help him get it on the lift, and then he couldn't get the drain plug broke loose. Getting a little dark there. Yeah, that's a little better. Yeah, see how shiny? Ooh, shiny. Anyhow, I just broke the drain plug loose for him, and he did the rest of it. So after he was gone, then I set up and got my stuff started, and here we are. So, yep, so it's going to be tomorrow night. I'm going to have students here, so I will not be recording. Everybody says filming. There's no film in modern cameras. It's digital media, so you're just recording, you're not filming. Little pet peeve, no big deal. So anyhow, that's it for today. Progress made, and 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Typical, that's the way the Jeep thing goes. I've been getting a lot of compliments lately on the Jeep when I pull into places and whatnot. People are like, giving me the thumbs up, and they like it. I like it, but I don't care if you like it because it's not your Jeep, it's my Jeep. I like it, but I would like to get the paint job finished on it and get started on the next phase of the renovations. I want to get a locker, at least 1 locker in it. I want to do rock sliders, but I'm going to leave my new rocker panels intact, so they're going to be below the rocker. I think I mentioned this in my last Jeep-related update video. I got a set of toe plates, and I got the front end aligned, the towing adjusted, and it's the tires seem to have stopped their excessive wear. Time will tell. I really haven't driven it. Well, I did put 600 miles on it to visit my daughter for her wedding. But anyhow, a little bit of progress on the project. Hopefully I'll get the lift gate scuffed, get the runs scuffed out of it, and get the color on it tomorrow night. I'll have one of our auto tech students shadow me while I'm painting that. Hopefully I won't have any issues with runs. It would be better if I could spray over this while it still has a little bit of tack to it. If it's completely dry when I put the color on, then I'm more likely to have runs, but I'll just I'll do the best I can. I do have a couple runs on the Jeep here and there. I'm rusty on painting. I haven't painted a car for a while, and these are not automotive paints. They're not intended as automotive paints, but I'm happy with the results. The Jeep is improving every time I get a little something done to it. I do want to do something about that little lifter noise in it, but we'll see. Looking into doing a mild stroker build on it, possibly. Yeah, we'll talk more later. You guys have a great day. Take care, stay well, and God bless.